I was watching The Bug's Life today. I don't know if you've seen that. I was literally watching like right before you got here.
I love that movie.
Turn on a cartoon. And I don't know if you've ever seen. It's like right at the beginning, and we all watch the movie as a kid, so you never really like understand how deep it is.
Right.
But it's the youngest little ant talking about how she like will never add value to like the family of ants.
Okay.
And the guy's giving her an analogy of like, well, do you see that big tree up there? And hands her a rock, and he's like, see, pretend this is a seed.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's all you are right now is just a seed, and like wait till you grow up into this big tree. And I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. But yeah,
That's pretty sweet. I love going back and watching kids movies
yeah,
like now.
yeah. No, it's definitely awesome. So great intro right there. So what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Positive Outlook. It's Gabe,
It's Caleb.
and you are watching another episode. So basically, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about goals and goal setting. Let's just call this episode Goals.
Goals. So we talk a lot about goals on Positive Outlook, but we haven't had an episode on goals, which is crazy.
It's wild. It's
So-
been how long?
Yeah, it's I don't know, 60, almost 70 weeks now.
Yeah, and if you guys watch like episode 3, I briefly talk about goal setting,
Yeah.
but we have not had an episode specifically on goals, and goals are so
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, must have just like slipped our minds or
Yeah.
something. So, yeah, no, goals are very important. Goals are awesome things to have in your life. They're great for tracking progress. They're great for tracking what you like to do in life and see if you're on the right track to make it fulfilling life with those implementations. So, I guess where we want to start. Do you have an idea?
Yeah, if you are just tuning in and you are on YouTube, smash that like and subscribe because that's our goal.
Yeah. That is our goal is to grow our audience so we can spread more positive information and some more awesome stuff to you guys. So
And actually, maybe we call this goals and dreams because I'd like to start with dreams
Yeah.
and kind of segue them into goals and then talk about like goals and how to set them.
yeah. So I guess I have a good question I want to start. So my manager wants to ask me this. Would you rather have the first 5 years before you start your career to be free and go do whatever you want, or would you rather have the last 5 years of your career, like pretty much just retire early?
Yeah. Ideally, personally, I guess I would say the first 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think the idea of being younger and being able to experience
Yeah.
things is a lot better than the sound of being an old person.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with being an old person, but
Yeah. Yeah, just rag on people. Yeah, like it was their choice kind of thing.
right.
No, so definitely, yeah. So it's awesome. It takes a lot of perspective to kind of think about that kind of thing because it really is like I'm young. When you're young, you have a lot of energy, but you don't really have the money for that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Or the wisdom and experience for certain things.
Right, and so you got to think like it's a great time to learn all these things, and it's a great time to get all this experience because it's probably the best time to do it.
Exactly.
But then you also have to think about it like retiring 5 years early. You might have kids, grandkids that you want to spend time with, and you have the money for it. And so it really kind of is like,
Actually, I think that changes my answer right there. Just the fact that when you factor in, you have 5 years when you're younger. If you think about it, rather than going and exploring, get all that failure out of the way.
mm-hmm.
Learn
Yeah.
about things. So maybe it is when I'm older.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that was my answer because it really is like, I don't know. I feel like right now when we're able to and when we have the free time, because neither of us really have like families to support or
Right.
like really we don't have anything holding us down or like an anchor. So we're able to kind of like take risks and do all this stuff that could cost us either our jobs or like our income and stuff like that. But that could also ultimately turn into like a lifelong dream. And so, tying it back to today's episode is, what would your dream then be if prompted with those 5 years on either side?
Yeah. So are you asking me?
I
or
am.
you-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've actually, so I just got back from like this huge, massive conference,
Mhm.
and it was super cool. And we did this thing called dream crafting.
Okay.
And so I've actually just created a whole new slate of dreams that I didn't even like know were dreams of mine until I sat down and just kind of wrote out some of my dreams.
That's kind of exciting.
It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Would you go dream slating?
Dream crafting.
Dream crafting? Yeah. What does that entail?
So basically what it is you have a bunch of categories per dream. So financial dreams, physical dreams, emotional dreams, literally dreams for every category,
Yeah.
professional dreams, and you write down 5 to 10 dreams per category.
Okay.
So for example, one of my financial dreams was $10 million before I'm old enough to retire.
Okay.
One of my adventure dreams was to take a road trip. I've always wanted to go on like a week-long road trip.
Yeah.
And so it's literally, if money wasn't an object, if time wasn't a thing, what would your goals be?
Yeah.
Or not goals, dreams.
Dreams.
Sorry.
Yeah. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Yeah. So let's see if money, time. So like if I could just have it today, what would I want to be doing?
Yeah, and also for our listeners, if you're listening to this right now and you can, get out a piece of paper and start creating some dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So that's a really important question. That I feel like it's really important to ask yourself that question, almost every day, with every intention or everything you're doing. What is the intention of it, and is it to produce the outcome of your dream? And I think where a lot of stressing points come up in life is when you're doing things, going through the motions of life, and you don't know if it is really projecting you down the path above your dream. Because a lot of people don't know what their dream is. And so when you ask me now, like if I could have it today, I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I feel like that's the importance of what we do every day, because we're kind of crafting our lives into becoming something that we do want. But because of, how young we are and inexperienced with life we are, we kind of have to craft that image each day.
Exactly. And I heard this awesome quote about dreams, and it was, your dreams are sort of a forecast of your potential growth, which is kind of cool to think about. It's like, okay, how big do you dream? As big as you dream, boom, that is your potential for growth. So anything that you could possibly want, if you list it and make it a dream of yours, that is now something that you can grow into.
Right.
And the fun part about dream crafting is it's not goal setting, which we'll get into in a little bit. Dream crafting is literally, it's just something you want. There's no timeline on it. It doesn't even have to be possible right now.
Right.
It's just something that you want if you could have it, regardless of cost, regardless of any limitations in the whole world.
Yeah.
It's just something that you want. And there's no one can even change that for you.
Right.
And it's really cool too, because one thing they said is the more dreams you can attain, the more they define you, which is another kind of cool quote.
Yeah.
And the more you refine the dreams, the more like possible they are. And so it's like when you start this process of creating a dream, it can start off something super vague. I want a lot of money. Okay, well, now that you have this idea, you have this dream of yours, figure out what that is. What is a lot of money? To you, to me, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
And so the really fun part about dreams is, one, anything is literally possible. And two, I think this goes for goals too, but if they should scare you.
Yeah.
Like, it should be something that it's like, it's not something lightly you write down, like, oh, I want to be rich.
Right.
Okay, cool. No, it's like
write it down, you feel your heart skip a beat, and you're like, damn, am I going to be capable of doing that?
Exactly.
Am I going to be able to take the first step today? And, is this honest? Is this me? Kind of one of those kind of questions.
Yeah, if it doesn't scare the hell out of you, you are not dreaming big enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you're just not.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I guess if the question was reversed onto you, do you have a dream right now?
I have so many.
Really?
Yeah.
Right now? What's your favorite? Like, if you could have it right now today, what would it be?
One of my favorite dreams is a professional studio for us, like a professional studio.
Yeah, I like that. That would be awesome. That way we wouldn't have all the audio issues and everything like that,
Yep, I'd want some sound people, like a whole, like, take this to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Like,
you think people watching right now don't think that this is professional?
I mean, of course they think
Look at
it's
this.
professional. I
It's
mean,
a
I'm wearing a sports coat today.
And it's a neon sign that says live on air.
It's a black wall that was white, literally, recently.
Also, shout out, we had another comment on our episode. Noah Wolfile. He is on the wall.
Shout out Noah.
You probably see him now. So, yeah, if you guys don't know, if you comment on our episodes, your name gets put on the wall. So, as you can see the list behind us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be an awesome dream. And that's cool. So I think that might be something I need to throw into my agenda, is sitting down, kind of, I guess, reimagining what I want with my life and kind of the dreams that I should be chasing, and really, like you said, refining them so they can become probable.
So here's what I would do, and this is for listeners too. I might be missing a couple categories. I'll comment with my private channel once this video's live.
Yeah.
Like all the categories if I do miss one. So the first goal we had, or dream to set, was places we want to go visit out of the whole world, places you want to visit. Then one of the really fun ones was people anyone in the world if you could have a cup of coffee with them. So like one of mine was Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Joe Gatto?
Yep.
Or the whole crew.
The whole crew. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd want to.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
And then Tony Robbins was another one.
Mhm.
Just a bunch of people. Mr. Beast.
Mhm.
So if you want to make that come true right now,
Jimmy,
come on.
Jimmy?
My line's open.
cup of coffee. Come hang out with Positive Outlook boys. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
That would be. And then so from there, then you do the financial dream. So it's like, where would you want your money to be or stuff like that. Anything regarding finances.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the financial dream, then there's material dreams. So this one seems really easy, but when you try to write it down on paper, you're like, oh, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's literally anything you can buy with money.
Yeah.
What would you want?
Okay.
And then there's legacy dreams. So this one's like, okay, things that would leave a legacy for you. So kids, family, start a foundation,
Right.
open up, things for people who are in impoverished areas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Literally anything that would regard a legacy. And then there's physical. So you want a six pack, you want to bulk up, you want to shred, you want to learn MMA.
Right.
Any of those are all physical dreams. And then there's emotional. Where do you want to be emotionally? Do you want to be happier?
Right.
Do you have relationships you want to fix? There's all sorts there. And now I'm starting to draw a blank. Professional dreams. Anything with your job. Do you want to be the number one realtor?
Yeah.
Do you want to be top podcast charts?
Right.
Like, what do you want professionally? And then the last one I'm going to name before I forget or throw in a wrong one is intellectual dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So just things you want to learn, things that you want to acquire the knowledge of
Right.
counts as an intellectual dream. And you'll find out a lot of these dreams kind of coincide with others, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It helps you kind of define your dreams even better when you realize, oh, this category and this category are very similar, and I have this dream, which is the same.
Yeah.
Good. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool process. Give yourself like a minute per category. Jot down as many as you can in a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's the starting point for your dreams.
No, I feel like because those quite a few topics. I feel
Yeah.
like that could kind of be overwhelming for some of the viewers. It's like, are you shooting for now when it comes to say like financial, right? Just for example, for financial, are you shooting for like writing down as many as you can, and then kind of afterwards you adjust and kind of
So
prioritize
that's why you give yourself a timer and a goal to hit 10 per category.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's everything that you think you want, and then from there, that's where you can get a little more specific.
Yeah.
So
What do you
lots of
actually
money.
want?
How much money?
Yeah.
You want to be a top realtor? Okay, in what?
Yeah.
Like what specific point of realty, or
Right.
what area? Do you want to be number one in the world or number one in Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
So when you start, just don't worry about it. If it's something you think you want, just write it down, get it on paper.
Yeah.
Now it's a thought. Now it's something that you can think about. You can physically see it, and it's just starting the whole process.
We call that planting the seed.
Planting the seed.
And that seed might not seem powerful, or that seed might not have a lot of power right now, but once you start to water and nourish that seed, give it some sunlight, that seed grows up to be a big tree.
Exactly.
And once those roots are in, it's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if that tree ever falls down, use it as firewood to build up a new tree. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
actually, firewood wouldn't really build a tree, but it builds a big fire under your butt, so you can build another tree. So,
Exactly.
yes,
And just keep building trees.
that's all you got to do. Keep
Um,
building trees.
And then so from there, the next stage, now that it's written down on paper,
Mm-hmm.
is the more fun part. So now that you've taken a look at what you've written down, you've kind of refined them a little bit, because the
Mhm.
more you refine, the more you define, the more you can attain.
Right.
So the more narrow they are, the better, but they're still dreams. They're not goals yet. So
Right.
it's okay if they're still pretty vague. So from here, this is where you want to get like a journal. I'm actually crafting a board right now.
Okay.
I'm working on cutting out the pictures for it, but find a picture that relates to what you want. So if you put a house, you want a massive house,
Yeah.
go find a picture of your dream house. What would that look like? Or car?
So
or
is this kind of somewhat along the lines of like a vision board as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually what I'm making as a vision
Oh, okay.
board.
Yeah.
But it's the whole process is dream crafting.
Yeah.
Just because we've talked about having dreams,
Yeah.
but we've never really talked about how to like start a dream.
You know what I think would be awesome?
What's that?
So it's by the time this releases, it's the 8th. I think by next Monday, we both write up some vision boards. When you're done with yours, we can share it. And when I'm done with mine, we can share it. And both
Absolutely.
In the beginning of next episode, Actually, next episode might be a little bit different because it's going to be a podcast with It's Relational podcast.
Yep, shout out.
Yeah, so they're another channel as well, and they talk about just kind of how relationships are built, what makes relationships. So they're going to have Caleb and I on, and we're just going to talk about that. Big shout out to them. They'll be coming on next week, but maybe the week after that, we kind of show our vision boards and go off into maybe a little bit more depth of what they mean to us and how we came up with them.
Absolutely. And so the whole point here is once you have like this vision board, you want to put it somewhere in your bedroom where you will wake up and you will see that, because this is where it slowly starts transitioning into goals, right? So now that you have your dreams, you have them on this big fancy board, you put it somewhere you can see it. Now you want to start making an action plan. And weird enough, the action plan comes before it's like an official goal. And also, I just want to make sure, I see that the bar for where your mic is hasn't really been moving.
It might be
down, lower.
No. How long has it not been moving for?
I'm not sure. I just noticed it. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe I go back to shout out with the It's Relational podcast. I don't know if I got picked up. So I think a great idea, not for next episode, because the episode coming up next is going to be with the It's Relational podcast, who talk about relationships, how they're built, what makes a good relationship. They're going to have Caleb and I on, so we're going to talk on theirs. So that's coming next Monday. But the Monday following that, we should both make our own vision boards and kind of explain to the viewers, why we made them, what about it is important, and we can kind of dig deeper into that episode.
Absolutely. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So now that you have, like, let's jump to once you have your vision board. So now that you have that, you want to start making an action plan. And the way an action plan works is you focus on as many things as you can do to start bringing you towards those dreams in 90 days and in 12 months. So you don't want to think too far off into the future just yet, because it's still just a dream. It's not quite a goal. So, if I want $10 million, maybe my goal is to save a few thousand in the 90 days.
Right.
Now put an exact number on that. It can't just be a few thousand, but 3,000, 6,000, whatever. So just start making all these little baby steps that you can start building momentum.
Yep.
And then during this stage, now we can start talking about goal setting. So.
Yeah. No, that's definitely it's super interesting. Goal setting is probably like one of the most fulfilling I guess like mind activities you can do, because you kind of get like the little sense of victory with each goal you write down and each plan, which can be dangerous. That part is dangerous, because I know even when I was younger, it was like the little achievements I got of just setting the goal and sharing it with somebody. Yeah. I was like, I did it.
You got to be careful not to overshare. That's huge.
So it is so it's very fulfilling, but it's also dangerous at the same time. But the most fulfilling part about it is knowing that you have the potential in yourself to accomplish these goals, and that just by writing them down, it kind of sets you apart from the other people.
Exactly.
And so by writing them down and making the whole vision board and then making an action plan for it, it says a lot about who you are, and then even following through with it, sets you to a whole nother level. And I think it's really important that all of us get an idea of what our dreams are and what our goals are, and how we're going to accomplish those.
100%. I think, so I was watching the beginning of episode 3, season 1, personal growth. And very briefly, I said, goal setting is actually what got me into this whole positive outlook mindset training thing. And I never really elaborated on what that meant. So basically, we were doing this program that I've shouted out a couple times here and there called Wrestling Mindset. And it taught us how to goal set. On top of that, we were listening to this guy who now has a podcast, but it used to be like these voicemail messages. That would be a new story every single night. That guy was committed. But one of his stories was how goal setting works, and how it's like this crazy thing where you write it down on paper, you put it where you can see it every night, and he had all these testimonials of people that he helped do it. Right. Talk about how crazy it was that somehow it just happened. Yeah. And it's like, okay, it's not what he meant by that, but I was just like, okay, that sounds really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so I write this down and it just happens.
Yeah.
What? So
Right.
I was like, all right, this is the first thing I can actually test what they're teaching us.
Right.
So let's either see if this, like Mythbuster time, let's
Yeah.
see if we can kick this down and find out if it's BS, or let's see if it's real.
Yeah.
And so I set 3 goals. My first goals I ever set and wrote down on paper
Yeah.
was get all A's first semester of my sophomore year. One was wrestling related. I don't actually remember that one. And then the other was literally have no acne
Mm-hmm.
by, and then I put like
Yeah.
December or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy. As soon as December rolled around, I realized I hit all 3 of those goals.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, it's like magic.
Yeah. Did you write down like action plans and everything like that for them
Not even.
back then?
I
No?
just wrote what I wanted when I wanted it by, and that alone was enough of a reminder. Every
Mhm.
morning, I used to have a bunk bed,
Yeah.
and I put it like right under the
Mhm.
top bed.
Yeah.
So I'd wake up, the lights would turn on, and I'd look at it, and I'd just be like, okay,
Just reread it every morning.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. And from there, I was like, okay, these guys aren't stupid. They know what they're talking about.
Mhm.
And I just started buying into the whole mindset training, and
Yeah.
and it just opens your eyes to that literally anything is possible.
Yeah.
And it sounds so silly. Oh, well, getting all A's in high school, not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Getting rid of acne, like, really, dude? What kind of goal is that? But it just kind of laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
And I think that is it's such a big part
Yeah.
about wanting anything is
Foundation.
yeah.
Yeah, no, having the it's like the story of the big bad wolf,
Mhm.
right? You know, he huffed, he puffed, and he blew his house down. But it's once you realize that if you have the strong foundation, which is, you know, in theory the brick in that,
Yeah.
once you have that strong foundation and the walls are built, you know, it's nothing can really knock you down, you
Right.
know, unless it's you from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we are here to talk to you guys about not being the self-destructive person.
And I'll be the first to admit it. So we had a sales push, which is where, you know, we have like a short time period to try and sell X amount.
Yeah.
And even though I know how to goal set, I set my goals way too low.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal for the 3-week push was to sell 8,000, and I ended up selling 12,500.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even think that 8,000 was possible at the start. And so I was talking to my one manager. His name's Brett Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool guy, but he was like telling me, he's like, "These are your goals? Like, really?" I'm
Mhm.
like, "Yeah." He's like, "You need to shoot higher than this."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Well, to be honest, like, I wanted to know I could achieve
Mhm.
them."
Yeah.
Like, he called me right out, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I
Mhm.
definitely set them
There was a
low
safety
enough
net.
to make sure I hit them."
Yeah.
And that kind of made me realize, like, okay, you're getting a little too comfortable, and like, you can't force your goals.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. My overall goal was to hit 20K in career sales, which I didn't think was possible. So
Mhm.
that was a scary goal, and I still surpassed that one.
Yeah.
And it's like, it kind of made me realize, like, look, I've been this far into this whole mindset thing, and I'm still setting goals
Mhm.
too low.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know,
Yeah.
it's careful.
It's
you
a
gotta be,
consistent battle.
yeah,
It is. It's not. There's never one day where you just get it and then it's you. It's
Right.
like it's the constant reminder and the constant battle of like always remembering that this is something that you have to implement.
exactly.
You know, it's not going to become second nature. It's not going to become habit. Maybe to a certain degree, in some aspects of it will become habit. But in its entirety, no, it's never just going to meld into you.
Right. And it made me realize he's right. And I knew this. I knew it. I was just being stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to set a goal way too high and miss it by a little bit than it is to set a goal way too low and go over by a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's super important. I think because one thing, you have to find a balance.
Mhm.
You don't want to set your goals stupid high because you're going to miss by a stupid amount. And then you're
Right.
going to be like, okay, this is stupid,
Yeah.
and
What was
give
the
up.
point? Yeah.
So you got to set smart goals that are
Mhm.
attainable on a timeline, all that good stuff. But
Right.
you want to shoot high.
Yeah. And I guess next episode, you guys will see our goals and everything that we are gonna set. I think gonna make the boards. I don't know how you're doing yours. I was gonna think like, you know, kind of superficial, and then the episode will be us really digging into it, what
Yeah.
it means to us, how it's gonna go. But I think as far as today's episode, do you have anything else you want to add to it?
Yeah. So just start dreaming now. If you've gone this long and you don't have something that you are dreaming about, if you don't have these giant goals, that's okay. Start now.
Yeah.
Because goals make everything better. You guys ever have a really, really crappy day? Well, those crappy days are that much better when you have a bigger purpose, a bigger dream, something you're chasing. You got to get hungry for it. You got to light the fire under you and go after it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be hungry. So, yeah, no, I think that's great. I don't know if I have anything else to add to this episode, other than, yeah, maybe go out there, try what we were talking about today in the episode about, setting some dreams, finding out what's important to you in your life, kind of what sets your soul on fire. So go out, try to find those things. And if you guys want to as well, make a couple, goal boards. Yeah. A vision board. And if you guys want to, you can, either like put it on your Instagram story, tag us in it, something like that. But we will be showing ours, not this next Monday, but the Monday after that.
Yeah, DM us with the pictures. We'll post it on our story for you guys. Comment down below. Is there a dream that you realize you have or that you've just created?
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'd love to hear some of your guys' dreams. Even if you think they sound insane, that's even better.
Yeah.
We get excited when dreams are just so big you can barely comprehend them.
No, it's so exciting. So I'm getting really excited myself to make this dream board. I have a few days free this week. And I'm gonna go to town, and I'm really gonna take some time, think about what I want in life, and I'm gonna crush this goal board, and it's gonna lead to an awesome next year, I want to say. So.
Yeah, and you guys will see it's like magic. It's not magic. It's hard work, and it's unwavering faith in yourself and in your goals. But it feels like magic. It really does.
Yeah. That's the principle of a miracle, right? The calculation for it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it very much. If you watched this far, please make sure to like and subscribe. Since you're already here. So.
Yeah, I mean, some of my dreams are literally just you guys hitting that subscribe button.
Yeah,
so.
Really. That's what it boils down to. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you, and we'll see you next Monday.
And as always, happy Monday.
Peace.